This couldn't have come at a better time. The Bills get back two players suspended for the first 6 games of the season, and man, oh man, did Sean McDermott and the Buffalo Bills need it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bills Digest. Josh Schreiber here, and the Bills just got what seemingly are two trade acquisitions, but instead they're really players that have been on the roster but have not been able to make their mark yet. And they're back this week. But before we talk about those two players, about 89% of you guys, yes, 89% are not subscribed to the channel. So please hit that subscribe button and follow along as we've got Bills updates for you all season, every single day. Well, let's dive right into it. The Buffalo Bills have a massive update. Larry Ogunjobi and Michael Hoecht are back for the Buffalo Bills. Two players that are going to come in and contribute on the defensive line right away, as whether it's their starters or they're going to be the first players in rotation, they are going to have a massive effect on this Bills defense. As we see this Sports Illustrated report from Alex Brasky, the Bills add two potential defensive fixes to the active roster, and their roster exemptions were lifted on Monday, and this is how we found out. Obviously, it was expected, barring some unknown injuries, that these two would be back and practicing for the Bills in preparation for Sunday afternoon's game against the Carolina Panthers. But Michael Hoecht and Larry Ogunjobi were both signed in the offseason. Hoecht to a 3-year deal, Ogunjobi to a 1-year deal. And both of them were kind of expected to come in and bolster that defensive line that had really struggled the season prior. And when it came out that they were suspended, it was absolutely a gut punch to this Bills defense. And we have seen that in big ways this season. And the first way we saw that was with Bijan Robinson on Monday Night Football, or really not the first way we saw it, but the way that we saw it that really hurt, because he ran all over this Bills defense. They could not stop him at the line of scrimmage whatsoever. And the guys they're bringing in, and Hoecht and Ogunjobi, are both guys that are very strong in the run game. First, we'll get a look at what Larry Ogunjobi has been able to do in his career thus far, and he has just been really solid, just year after year, putting up solid numbers. And although some of the numbers may be a bit underwhelming, his first years in Cleveland were absolutely phenomenal. He is a really outstanding athlete at his position. A little bit undersized, will really be more of what really in his career he's been more of a pass rusher, but he really asserted himself in the run defense in Pittsburgh the past 3 seasons, was really solid in a whole bunch of categories. And we'll pull up a stat here that I really liked, and that is that Ogunjobi really should help this run defense a lot. In 2024, his run tackle percentage was almost 20%. You look at other Bills defensive tackles in 2025, and they are miserable numbers. There have really been two players that have been any good in this category. It's been Ed Oliver and Deon Walker. Those are likely going to still be the two starters. But we know that Ed Oliver has some injury history. Deon Walker played 85% of snaps against Atlanta and was really the only player on defense that looked any good. He cannot be playing 85% of snaps as a rookie at his size. He needs a couple of breathers here and there, and that is going to really help him in the long term. The next guy is Jordan Phillips and Daquan Jones. Daquan Jones is now injured. Jordan Phillips is a practice squad player. He has not been good for the Bills, other than the occasional, energy that he brings to the team. And, there's really no quantifiable way that you can bring that up. Certainly, it is nice to have him on the team. The guys love him, but he is not a guy that should be playing more than 25% of snaps. And that is what he's had to do, especially against Atlanta when the Bills had just 3 active defensive tackles as Daquan Jones went down with an injury in warmups. Then Zion Logue and TJ Sanders, both of them not going to play a whole lot this year. Zion Logue just really a practice squad guy, and TJ Sanders maybe out for the year with an injury. So you put in Ogunjobi, and according to 2024, he was their best run stuffer. If he can do that for this Bills team, that is absolutely gigantic. Now we can talk about what Michael Hoecht has been able to do. He is a few years younger than Ogunjobi, 28 years old, and in his first 4 years in the league, he came into the league and really in this Los Angeles Rams defense that they do a really good job, I guess not recruiting players, but developing players. And as a second-year player, he took a massive step. 4.5 sacks. He played multiple different positions. He started his career as an outside linebacker, then kind of became a D tackle, then switched to the D line and became an edge rusher. So he can give you lots of versatility, and he is also known for his run-stopping prowess. You see last season, 7.5 run stuffs. You see on the end there, and that is a number that he has just increasingly got better and better as he's gotten into his career, and he is still very much in his prime. He's still got 2 or 3 years that we can be fairly confident that he is going to be in his prime playing his best football, and he is going to, I think, really provide some tough competition for a guy like AJ Epenesa, who has just not been super consistent in his career. He has flashed at times, but has not been really consistent in that regard on the edge. So excited to see what he can bring. I'm sure he's going to be able to spell Joey Bosa, especially on early down situations. I wouldn't expect Joey Bosa to be playing nearly as much as he has to start the year. Maybe a little bit against the Chiefs, but I want to see Joey Bosa in the regular season be a 3rd and 4th down guy because we don't want to risk him getting injured. We need him healthy for the playoffs and playing his best football. In the Sports Illustrated article that I shared at the top of the show, Michael Hoecht looked like a strong signing, and he was a notable appearance in the preseason when he was really the only player on the defense that had any sort of a good game against the Chicago Bears in a game that they got absolutely they got their doors blown off, I should say. He ranked 76.1 by Pro Football Focus, which obviously those PFF grades are nothing to hang your hat on. They are not something that you can they're not all encompassing. You can't say, just because a guy had a good PFF grade or a bad PFF grade, that means that they did not play well or they did play well, because those PFF grades have been widely debated, especially recently by JJ Watt himself, who was the PFF king, but he came on and said they don't know what they're doing when they're doing PFF grades. They don't know a player's assignment, blah, 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 blah. Regardless, they were impressed by what Hoecht was able to do in that game against the Chicago Bears, and he was able to, show us a little glimpse of what he can bring us in the regular season once he is fully active after that suspension. So 2 huge, really, additions to this Bills team that Sean McDermott is going to have to figure out how to incorporate them into the defense and how to make sure all of his A pieces are operating well and healthy come the stretch of the season. They're still in a good spot at 4-2, but they desperately need some changes on the defensive side of the football. And this is what Mina Kimes had to say on her podcast. She said, I know we talked about, the offensive guys. Do they have enough? They're going to be fine. It's the defense that needs to be the point of concern for the Bills, and that is what has killed them every single year. They have not been able to get stops when they need to against teams like the Chiefs, teams like the Bengals, and it is going to come a time where they need to get right, and they need to get right quickly. So we can only hope that this defense is going to get healthy, and that guys like Michael Hoecht and Larry Ogunjobi are going to be the main reasons why they are able to get healthy and they are able to get this defense right. Thank you again for tuning in. Leave a comment on who you think on this Bills defense is going to see the biggest boost from Larry Ogunjobi and Michael Hoecht coming back. Is it going to be one of those two, or is it going to be a guy like Ed Oliver who can get spelled a little bit more? So leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow.